Welcome. This is going to be the most valuable video you'll watch this year on how to build muscle and how to lose fat. I'm going to walk you through the exact protocol, the exact process that I used to put on 30 pounds of lean muscle mass, all while decreasing my body fat by more than 8%, using something I like to call the M3 protocol. I was able to accomplish all this without spending endless hours in the gym, without starving myself, and without giving up my favorite foods. After getting through this video, you'll know the exact steps needed for you to do the same thing. Whether your goal is to lose body fat, whether your goal is to build lean muscle mass, or just overall transform your life and your mindset completely. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Before I actually give you guys the actual M3 protocol, I want to give you an idea of who I am and how I came up with this. Because again, this is my tested and true method that I come up with putting on muscle mass and losing body fat. Prior to me becoming a coach, I was a multi-sport athlete. Growing up, I played soccer year-round, I wrestled, I ran track. I was very active. Because of that, I was used to eating whatever I want and not gaining weight. But all that changed when I started at the University of Maryland, when I started as a freshman at University of Maryland. I was no longer an athlete. I was no longer playing soccer or wrestling, and I was just no longer as active as I used to be. Pair that with the classic college lifestyle, long nights studying in the library, other longer days partying, drinking beer, alcohol. Before you know it, I had put on weight. I came in to college at about 170. Less than a year in, I was about 185, right? To make matters worse, the way I used to train for my sport, the way I used to train for soccer, the way I used to train for wrestling, it wasn't working. Even though I was trying to do the same things, I found that I could no longer lose weight. I found that it was harder for me to lose fat. Previously, I used to just be able to eat whatever I want. Because I was training 5, 6 days a week, I could lose whatever weight I wanted. It was never an issue. But now, with my new schedule, my new lifestyle, no matter what I did, the weight just wouldn't come off. So I would spend endless hours online searching for answers. I did it all. I did intermittent fasting. I tried to cut out certain meats, certain foods. I tried to eat once a day. I starved myself at times. I overtrained. I did so many different things to try to see the results I wanted to see. But no matter what I tried, it just wasn't the same. I just could not see the results. I got stuck in this constant cycle of gaining 10 pounds and losing 10 pounds and bulking and cutting. And I thought I was doing something, but really I was just gaining and losing the same weight over and over and over again. And overall, it was very frustrating. There were all these fad diets online. There was all these workouts to do. I would find these 5-minute ab workouts, 15-minute ab videos, 30-day challenges. None of them worked. Every once in a while, I would find something that would get me the results. But again, as soon as I stopped, I would lose the results back again. So I was constantly stuck on this restrictive diet cycle. And eventually, it led to me being so frustrated that I completely switched my major in college. I switched from being a biology major to being a kinesiology major, which is essentially exercise science and human anatomy. By doing that, I was able to take classes on human anatomy, on exercise science. I became certified as a personal trainer, and I started reading and just researching more on my own. I was dead set on finding a solution to making this happen. And along the way, I honestly fell in love with training and with coaching. It actually became an accident that I became a coach. You know, my path was biology, my path was medicine, but I fell in love with coaching and training. Once I found this protocol, once I found the M3 protocol, and I realized that it was able to work for me, I made it my mission to apply it to other people. Starting out, I applied it to friends. I showed friends the exact same method, helped them lose weight, helped them build muscle, and helped them transform their bodies. You can see here, this is me in high school, playing soccer year-round, active, right? This is me, I believe, freshman year of college. For most people, you might still say, oh, you still look pretty good, you look active. But for me, I wasn't where I knew I was supposed to be. I didn't feel my best. I didn't have the energy I wanted. I started developing love handles. And the thing is, this is before it got really bad. I stopped taking pictures at that point because I just didn't like the way I look. I no longer liked standing outside with my shirt off. I used to love running around shirtless. I could no longer do it. That's why after this right here, I stopped taking pictures. But after I developed this M3 protocol, I was able to transform my body to where I got to this level. Complete transformation. I look leaner, however, I weigh more. I went from weighing about 165 to weighing about 185 to weighing 200 and eventually weighing 210 pounds, right? Completely transformed my body. And the impact fitness has had on my life has been tremendous. It's allowed me to transform my life. It's allowed me to transform my mindset. I've been able to open my own business, to travel the world and help other people do the same thing. It's seeing that and seeing not only the changes in myself, but in other people I've been able to help, it's inspired me to launch Tank Fitness and to do my best to get the M3 protocol out to the world. I believe that there's too much information overload in health and fitness. There's too much just hiding information and making something that should be simple too difficult. The average person doesn't need all that. My goal with showing you the M3 protocol is to break this down into the simplest terms so that you can go off on your own. And in 3 months, 6 months, you can see a transformation just like this as well. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to go from this to this to this. Again, from about 180, 185 to 200, now 210. I'm going to show you the exact process I used to build 30 pounds of lean muscle, all while decreasing my body fat. The goal is to save you years of trial and error. What took me over 5 to 6 years to learn, I'm going to condense so that you can do in the next 6 months to a year. But before I even get into that, I want to make sure you're not wasting your time. I want to make sure that time is the most valuable thing. Time is worth more than money. So if you're watching this video, I want to make sure that you're actually supposed to be here. So that being said, this video is not for you if you're somebody who is impatient and wants quick results. You have to understand that good things take time. If you want a quick magic pill, cookie cutter formula to help you lose weight quickly or help you put on muscle quickly, this is not for you. If you believe that you can put on 5 pounds in a month, 10 pounds in a month, this is not for you because you're lying to yourself. What you're doing is putting on fat. If you believe you can lose 20 pounds of fat in a month, you're lying to yourself. And this is not for you, right? Number 2, if you have shiny object syndrome and you're looking for just another quick fix and you're not willing to put in the work, then this video is not for you. If you're unserious about the effort this will take, I'm not going to be one of those coaches that lies to you and say, oh yeah, you can eat whatever you want and work out once a week and not do anything and you'll see results. No, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm here to keep it real. I'm going to give you the exact process to get from point A to point B, but I'm also going to tell you that it will require you to put in just a little bit of work. So if you're unserious and you're not willing to put in that work, don't waste your time. Just click away. Number 4, if you have a fixed mindset and you know it all, then this video is not for you. I like working with people that have a growth mindset, right? If you're somebody who believes you already have all the answers, then what are you doing here? You already have all the answers. Go keep doing what you're doing, right? Because if you had all the answers, you likely would not be watching this video. So I want you to keep an open mind as you're going through and understand that this will take some shifting your mindset a little bit, right? Last but not least, if you're somebody that wants to spend 3 hours in the gym 6 to 7 days a week, then this video probably is not for you. Again, this video is meant to simplify health and fitness, to give you the most efficient way to put on lean muscle mass and lose fat. So with this video, with this process I'm showing you, it doesn't require you to spend 6 to 7 days, 3 hours in the gym. Minimum, you might need 3 to 4 days in the gym with 60 to 90 minutes. That's more than enough. But 3 hours, 6 to 7 days, that's not necessary. And I can say that because I've been there. I've made that mistake so you don't have to, right? So if you meet any of these requirements right here, this video is not for you and you can scroll away. However, this video is for you. You're in the right place if you're looking to lose 15 to 30 pounds of fat and add on lean muscle mass. If you're looking to improve your body composition and lose fat, not just weight, because there's a huge difference between losing fat and losing weight. There's a huge difference between putting on mass, putting on muscle. If you're looking to improve your body composition, meaning increase muscle mass the way I did while decreasing fat, and you want to look your best year round without having to cut and bulk over and over again, you're in the right place. If you're sick of losing and regaining the same 10 to 15 pounds over and over again and telling yourself, oh yeah, I'm just cutting, I'm bulking, I'm cutting, I'm bulking, then you're in the right place. That means you're ready to make lasting changes once and for all. If you're sick of fad diets and that toxic weight loss, weight gain cycle, then you are in the right place because we're going to end that today. Third, if you want to improve not just your body, but also your mind and all other aspects of your life, then you are in the right place. And I say that because the system, the process that I'm going to teach you, that's going to help transform your body composition, increase muscle mass, learn how to eat better. That same exact process is the same process that's necessary to build a business. That's the same process that's necessary to run a successful business or to manage a successful relationship or to be successful at work, right? It's the same system that'll help transform your mind, your finances, and your relationship with others. So if you're looking to just become an overall better person, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, financially, then you're in the right place. 4, if you're looking for a lifestyle change and a sustainable solution, if you're tired of having to lose weight for the summer is 90 days away, if you're tired of doing all these things and you want to look your best and feel your best year round, then you are in the right place. Last but not least, if you want to still be able to enjoy food, if you don't want to have to eat chicken and broccoli year round, you don't want to have to go on vacation with your friends and go out to brunch with your family and you're sitting there trying to eat chicken and broccoli off the menu or count your calories, all that stuff, then you're in the right place because I'm going to teach you how to be able to eat sustainably year-round and still maintain amazing results, right? When it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fat loss and building muscle, there is an old, outdated way of doing things, and then there's a new, good way of doing things. The old, outdated way, and I say this not to pick at you, not to call you out. I say this because I've made these same exact mistakes. The old, outdated way means working out 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, essentially overtraining. Muscle doesn't grow when you're training. Muscle grows in recovery. So if you're working out 3 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, you're never giving yourself a chance to recover. You're basically just overstimulating yourself, pushing yourself past what you can handle. Old outdated way of losing weight, old outdated way of losing fat and building muscle is starving yourself or restricting calories severely. You need to eat to grow. You have to eat to grow. You have to have protein to grow. Yes, you do need to be in a deficit when losing weight, but if your goal is to lose fat or even to put on muscle, you got to prioritize protein intake. You don't need to be in a 1,000 calorie deficit. A slight deficit is more than enough, right? The old way is doing cleanses, challenges, and detoxes. Those are temporary solutions. A lot of those, you end up losing water weight, and then as soon as you eat, as soon as you drink, all that is back on. Old outdated way means doing crazy diets like keto, intermittent fasting, cutting out sugar, right? Old outdated way involves spending hours on the treadmill every single day and nothing else. Doing intense HIIT workouts, P90X, insanity. I've been there. Trust me, I know. I've been there. Old outdated way is saving and doing Instagram workouts and TikTok workouts. Your favorite influencers, they post these workouts that they don't even do themselves. You save it. It helps them grow, but you don't see any results, but you keep saving them and doing them. That's outdated. The old outdated way is having shiny object syndrome with every new diet that pops up. You hear about the Mediterranean diet. You hear about keto. You hear about, I don't even know. There's all these crazy diets, and the outdated way is having shiny object syndrome. You jump from diet to diet to diet to diet, year after year, month after month, you're in the same exact place. The old outdated way is begging people to be your gym buddy or to hold you accountable. Oh, I need a gym buddy. I need a gym partner. You don't need that. The old outdated way is worrying too much about calories burned and how intense the workouts are. Like I said, outdated. Building muscle, losing fat is not about burning calories. It's not about how intense the workouts are. It's about how efficient they are. So that leads me to the new ways of doing things, the new ways of building muscle, the new way of losing fat. Number one, having progressive overload, personalized workouts. You're no longer doing cookie cutter programs from Instagram or TikTok that aren't even designed and customized for you. You have a personalized workout with progressive overload. You're progressing as you go. You have to constantly be adding new stimuli, whether that's increasing reps, increasing sets, increasing weight, time under tension. There has to be some level of progressive overload. The new way is less emphasis on calories burned and more emphasis on building lean muscle mass, because the more lean muscle mass you have, the easier it is to burn calories, even when you're at rest. The new way of losing fat and building muscle is rejecting diet culture and instead learning how to make better decisions long term. That's the same like giving a man a fish versus teaching a man to fish. Today, I will be teaching you how to fish. The new way is understanding what causes your cravings, what causes your emotional triggers, and how to control them. The new way of building muscle mass and losing fat is learning how to fix and maximize your metabolism. Like I said, building muscle. That way you can simplify the fat burning process. The new way of building muscle and losing fat involves bringing awareness and mindfulness into everyday life and incorporating meat into your daily life to make it simpler to burn calories while at rest. We'll dive into all of these deeper. So, we've talked about the old way. Now it's time to shift into the new way, and it's time to explore and see what the M3 protocol is really about. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you exactly how to lose 15 to 30 pounds of fat and pack on lean muscle mass in less than 180 days, 180 days or less. Like I said, it took me years to learn this process. It took me years to get this down packed and be able to do it consistently. But I'm going to condense that into 6 to 12 months for you. That way, in the next year, you can start to look and feel your best, better than ever before. Regardless if you're 18, regardless if you're 32 or 50, 53, you are going to be in the best shape of your life because of this video. I'm going to show you how to eat and work out for your desired results. I'm going to show you how to automate the whole process so that you can continue losing fat and building muscle in your sleep. I'm not even kidding. That is possible. That's how the people that are in the best shape of their lives, that's what they do. They're not constantly just tracking every calorie and restricting themselves. They have the system so down packed that they're able to lose weight and build muscle without even thinking. It's automatic. Again, if you're new to me and you haven't seen me before, the M3 protocol is the exact system that I built through trial and error and years of research in fitness and nutrition. It's been battle tested, it's been proven. I've helped hundreds of men and women, again, men and women, get in the best shape of their lives. You can see some of them right here. Losing weight, building muscle, right? Look at him. Decreases body fat composition. Look at that. Look at him. 32 pounds in 3 months. Look at this. 35 pounds in 3 months. Look at that. 60 pounds in less than 7 months. This has been tested and true over and over and over again. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down that exact process my clients have used so that you can see similar results in the next 6 months minimum, the next 180 days minimum. All that I ask of you is to please like this video and leave a comment if you found it valuable. It lets me know that what I'm doing, what I'm sharing, is useful. So what exactly is the M3 protocol? So for those who I haven't said it yet to, M3 protocol stands for Muscle Mindset Mastery Protocol. There are 3 main components. There's the metabolic resistance training, there's a flexible dieting protocol, and then there's an autonomic success system. So there's 3 main components, and then there's 3 separate phases. Phase 1 is a diagnostic phase. Phase 2 is foundational phase. Phase 3, acceleration/lifestyle phase. All of those are very important. First, we're going to tackle all of these three components. So let's get to it. Number one, the metabolic resistance training protocol. What exactly is metabolic resistance training? Let's get into it. So the old way of training for fat loss and muscle building, again, it involves doing random TikTok and Instagram workouts, overtraining, doing too much cardio, doing too much HIIT, very unstructured programming, maybe changing your workouts every week, every 2 weeks, every month, right? It involves focusing too much on how many calories are burned instead of how much muscle is being built, instead of body composition. The new way of training, the metabolic resistance training, it focuses on building lean muscle mass, because lean muscle mass is what gives you that toned look. It's not, a lot of people think that the more muscle you have, the more toned you look. That's actually wrong. The more fat, sorry, a lot of people think that the more muscle mass you have on you, the more bulky you look. You hear guys all the time saying, I don't want to get too big, I don't want to get bulky. You hear women all the time say, I don't want to get too big, I don't want to get bulky. I'm going to tell you a secret. If it was that easy to get bulky, every single person in the gym would be looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it's not. It's not the muscle that makes you bulky, it's the excess fat, right? So when you focus on building lean muscle mass, it gives you that toned look that you want. Metabolic resistance training improves your metabolic rate, which allows you to burn more calories in less time while at rest. It accelerates fat loss. It enhances hormonal response, right? It enhances your fat burning processes. It improves your cardiovascular fitness. Best of all, it's time efficient. So how exactly does that work? What exactly is metabolic resistance training? I'm glad you asked. So what metabolic resistance training is it utilizes a formula for building lean muscle mass. That formula is progressive overload plus compound lifts plus volume and intensity gives you the desired results. It helps you build lean muscle mass. You don't need to be in the gym 3 hours. Again, 60 to 90 minutes is way more than enough. 60 minutes is way more than enough. 60 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week, perfect amount of time. It utilizes a lifestyle integration framework. The worst thing people do when starting their fitness journey is they try to train and work out like their favorite influencers. When the whole time your favorite influencer, their job is to work out and be in the best shape of their life. They can afford to be in the gym 3 days a week. They can afford to be in the gym 3 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. You can't. You have work. You might have children. You might have a relationship. You might have other responsibilities. You can't do that. So the benefit of the metabolic resistance training is that it's time efficient. It's built with your specific life and schedule in place. Instead of you having to be in the gym 5, 6 days, 7 days a week, 3 to 4 days is more than enough, right? Number 3, it encourages being neat. A lot of people don't know that exercise only accounts for about 5% of daily calories burned. Meaning, numerically, if you're trying to outburn your calories to lose weight, you're fighting a losing battle. It's better to burn your calories throughout the day by doing things like NEAT. NEAT stands for non-endothermic activity thermogenesis, meaning all the non-exercise related ways that you can burn calories. Walking more, taking the stairs, parking further, eating specific foods, all those different things play in there, right? And that's the benefit of metabolic resistance training. When you do it right, it makes it simpler. It makes it easier to build muscle and lose fat in less time. Again, I used to be working out 6-7 days a week, 3 hours at a time. I used to be that guy, overtraining, right? Nowadays, I'm working out 3-4 days a week, 60 to 90 minutes max, and I'm in the best shape of my life. So when you follow the metabolic resistance training, less is more. When you do less, you get even better, even more results. Component number 2 is flexible dieting. The old way of dieting means having extremely restrictive calories. I see people all the time who are eating 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories because they think that's how they need to lose weight. But the thing is, metabolic adaptation is the thing. As you eat those low calories long term, eventually your body, your metabolism adapts to that, and it no longer burns as much as it needs to burn. So if you've been eating 1,000 calories for the last year, now you'll probably have to eat 500 calories just to lose weight. Unless you reverse yourself, reverse diet, and you fix your metabolism, right? So the old way of dieting was restricting your calories. The old way of dieting was doing cleanses, challenges, detoxes, juices, all that stuff. Following restrictive diets like keto, intermittent fasting, only eating fruit, right? Having food anxiety because you feel so guilty when you eat because you had a piece of cake and now you feel like you gained 10 pounds, right? That's the old way of dieting. The new way of dieting, it starts with improving your relationship with food, understanding that food is fuel, but food is also meant to be enjoyed, right? You don't need to have anxiety around food. The new way of dieting involves understanding and managing your cravings. You need to understand what triggers those cravings. Is it tied to your emotions? Is it tied to your argument with your girl? Is it tied to stress at work? What triggers your cravings and what triggers certain things? Once you have that idea, once you know that, you can fix it, right? The new way of dieting involves improving your metabolism through food, eating thermic foods. That way it helps speed up your metabolism. Certain foods take more energy to burn and to digest than other foods. So the more you have that, the easier it is for you to lose weight. The new way of dieting is learning how to eat right versus eating healthy. There's a huge difference between eating right and eating healthy. Just because you're drinking a smoothie, which is quote unquote healthy, doesn't mean you're eating right. Doesn't mean you're having the macronutrients, doesn't mean you're having the calories, all that stuff that you need to reach your goals, right? The new way of dieting involves macronutrient manipulation. We'll get into that later. So how does that work exactly? Well, flexible dieting involves you using the 80-20 principle. This allows you to enjoy your food in moderation. So that means 80% of the time throughout the week, 80% of the time throughout the week, you're eating whole foods, lean protein, you're eating quote unquote clean. I hate using that term, but people use it, clean, right? And then the other 20% of your time, you allow yourself to have a cheat meal. You allow yourself to go out and enjoy maybe Popeyes, maybe a pizza here and there. By doing that, because you don't feel so restricted, you can actually stick to your diet long term. It makes it easy to stick to your diet long term without having any issues, without crashing, without binge eating, right? How does flexible dieting work? It has you rejecting diet culture and exiting the restrictive diet trap. The more you feed into diet culture, the more you feed into that restrictive diet trap, the longer you're stuck. Once you learn how to eat the right things, how to make better nutritional decisions, you've learned it forever. As I said earlier, that's the difference between giving a man a fish versus teaching a man to fish. Again, flexible dieting involves understanding self, understanding your cravings, understand what triggers stress eating, understand how to handle that. By learning flexible dieting, you're becoming a better person because you gain more self-awareness, you gain more self-control. As opposed to being reactionary, now you're the one setting the pace for your life. All right, autonomic success secrets. That's the third component. The old way of being consistent. All of this automatic success secret, again, is to make sure that you can lose weight, lose fat, and build muscle automatically without having to think. It becomes a part of you. And part of that involves learning the right habits, doing the right things, and becoming the right person. Becoming a fit person as opposed to just being somebody who's trying to lose weight. Becoming a healthy person as opposed to somebody who's on a diet. Does that make sense? I hope something's clicking. So the old way of being consistent and seeing results used to have to do with relying on motivation. Having an all or nothing mindset. Oh, I'm going to go hard for 30 days. I'm going to do 75 hard. Having a rigid and unchangeable structure. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 workouts a day for 75 days and that's going to do it. I'm going to lose the weight, right? That's not how this works. You can't brute force yourself into changing. You can't brute force yourself into seeing the desired results. The old way of being successful used to be waiting for the right time. Oh, after school is over, after I move, after I do this, there's never going to be a right time. You have to make it the right time. When you know the right things, when you have the right nutritional habits, you're going to be eating anyway. You might as well eat right. You're going to be working out or being active anyway. You might as well do the right things, right? You don't have to wait for the right time. This is the right time. The old way of being consistent and being successful meant to basically working out every day, overtraining, doing too much. It involved that whole Navy SEAL drill sergeant type mentality, like drop and give me 50. That's overplayed. Come on, this is 2025. The new way of being consistent, the most important thing, involves setting systems, not goals. If you set systems, you can accomplish any goal. If you set goals, you'll struggle to accomplish any system. The new way of being consistent means showing up even with imperfect conditions, showing up for yourself daily, weekly, regardless what happens. You won't always have 100% to give, but you'll be able to give whatever you have available, right? If you only have 50% to give today, you'll give 100% of that 50%. If you have 70% to give tomorrow, you'll give 100% of that 70. As opposed to just being 100 or 0. Now you're being consistent because you're showing up where you're at, right? The new way is doing short but focused workouts. As opposed to doing long and effective, drawn out workouts, you're doing short but focused workouts. And of course, adapting. Life is going to throw curveballs. You can't ever predict what life is going to be like. Again, it goes back to the whole idea of the right time. There's never going to be a right time. You create the right time. Life changes drastically, so you need to be able to adapt with life, right? And then the new way is understanding that this is a lifestyle, not a sprint, not a phase. It's a lifestyle. Once you get that in your head, once you change from being somebody who's trying to lose weight, once you change from being somebody who's trying to be healthy to being a fit person, a lean person, a healthy person, it becomes automatic. It becomes a lifestyle. So how does that work? Well, number one is community. You need community. For any lasting change, you need some level of community. Think about church. It's harder to be consistent with church, with your religion, with your faith, if you're doing it by yourself. However, if you have community, that's why at church they have small groups, right? If you have community, you have other people to hold you accountable. You have other people to keep you on the right path. The community brings radical accountability and self-awareness. You have to be true to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Am I doing what needs to be done? And if I'm not, how can I do better? And when you can't hold yourself accountable, other people will hold you accountable. Number two is habit success system. You have to change the way you view yourself. It goes right back again. If you see yourself as somebody who's on a diet, you'll always be on a diet. But if you see yourself as somebody who likes to eat healthy, who likes to take care of their body, then naturally it becomes a part of you. You don't have to think about it. It's automatic. You're just eating healthy because that's what healthy people do, and you're a healthy person. Does that make sense? Right? If you change your habits, the rest follow. And part of changing habits is having systems, having regular sessions of reflection, whether that's daily, whether that's weekly, monthly, whatever it is, whatever helps you stay consistent. And then last but not least is lifestyle automation. The more barriers you have to being a healthy person, the more barriers you have to eating healthy, the more barriers you have to working out, the harder it's going to be. So part of the lifestyle automation is removing those barriers, right? Whether that means ordering meal prep delivery service, whether that means prepping your food every Sunday and every Wednesday, whether that means setting your clothes aside every night for to go, right? Whatever you have to do to simplify and remove those barriers to success, you have to do that. I hope that made sense. So we just covered the components of the M3 protocol. Now we're going to cover the phase. It's a 3-phase system, the exact system that I use. Rinse, repeat over and over again. So phase 1 is a diagnostic phase. A lot of people try to jump into losing fat or building muscle without even knowing where they're at. Awareness creates change. You have to know where you're coming from before you have a clear game plan of where you're going. Too many people just hop on and just start moving without really understanding where they're at in the process. You have to know where you're at before you understand where you're going, right? That's like hopping on a bus and you just don't know where you're going. You just hop on the bus and you just say, okay, I'll get off when I get off. Okay, where are you coming on at? Where is your stop? Are you going the right way? Are you going the wrong way? You don't know. This is why the diagnostic phase is important. This phase lasts from week 1 to week 4. During this first phase, we're going to assess your biometric data, meaning we understand what your body composition is, right? If you're starting at 35% body fat, you're at a different place than somebody who's starting at 15% body fat. The workout's going to be different. The foods are going to be different. The macronutrients, the calories are all going to be different. So we assess your body composition, your strength, your endurance, your flexibility, all that stuff. Step 2, we identify your habits and triggers. We identify what causes those emotional triggers, what causes those cravings, how you eat normally, how many calories, how many macros, are you eating enough protein already, are you not, are you eating too many fats, are you not, are you eating too much carbs. We identify those. We track your baseline data points. We track your sleep pattern. Are you staying up all night until midnight playing video games? Are you waking up at noon, right? We track your stress levels, your energy fluctuation. Because again, awareness creates change. Once we know where you are, where you're at, now we can help you change. And then last but not least, we track your baseline mindset. We understand your current mindset around fitness and food. If you think exercise is hard, it's a chore, you're not even ready to transition yet. We have to change that mindset. If you think eating healthy is bland and boring, you're not even ready to transition. We have to change that mindset. Next up is a foundational phase. This is so important. Before you move on to the next phase, you have to go through the foundational phase. Strong roots create strong results. This lasts from week 5 to week 12, right? Now, in this phase, this is where you establish daily non-negotiables. In order to be successful, you have to change who you are as a person. If you go from somebody that sleeps 3 hours a night, barely eats protein, drinks soda 24/7, that person is not going to achieve the kind of results you want to achieve. You have to change those daily habits and daily non-negotiables. You have to establish a sleep routine. Excuse my typo. Establish a sleep routine. Establish a step count. Consistent meal typing. You have to have all those things in place, right? Next up, you have to learn the proper form for specific lifts. Otherwise, you'll get injured. You have to learn how to correctly do squats, bench, deadlift, hinge movements, carry movements. You have to understand the foundations and have those down packed, because then when you move on to the more complicated stuff, the risk of injury is less, right? You have to understand and adapt the type of style that metabolic resistance training is. You're no longer being in the gym for 3 hours at a time, 7 days a week. You're going to be in there for about 60 to 90 minutes max, 3 to 4 days max. You have to understand how that works. Next up is going to be consistent calorie and macro tracking. We're still in the foundational phase. Now you're understanding how to track your calories, how to track your macros, and you're being more consistent with it. As you do that, you start to see the results, right? Then you start to establish empowering rituals. Replace self-sabotaging habits with empowering rituals. Again, if you barely sleep, if you're staying up all night watching television, if you're eating Chick-fil-A for lunch, if you're eating McDonald's for dinner, we replace those old self-sabotaging habits with empowering habits, such as meal prepping, such as cooking, such as knowing how to cook the right things and nourish your body right? And then once you're done with all that stuff, now we move on to the acceleration phase. Mastery leads to momentum. Momentum leads to success. This lasts from week 12 to week 24. In this phase, that's where we apply progressive overload. Again, excuse my typo. That's where we apply progressive overload to maximize muscle growth and fat loss. That's where we start implementing macronutrient manipulation tactics like cutting, like refeeding, like carb cycling, right? One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're on a weight loss or even a muscle growing phase is that they believe they just have to be in a caloric deficit forever. That's not how that works. Or they're confused about they're trying to gain muscle while in a caloric deficit, or they're trying to lose weight while in a surplus. That's where we start applying these things. You learn the right things to do. Next up is learning how to fish. You learn how to adapt your meal plans on your own. You learn how to adapt your protein, your carbs, your fats on your own, your calories a little bit based on what you want to do. That way you can do this long term. The goal should never be to stick with a coach for the rest of your life. The goal should be to learn what you need to learn and move on. So you learn how to fish. You learn how to adapt to travel, nights out, high stress periods, because again, life. These things will pop up. And as you learn these things, now you have improved confidence to handle this on your own. And then of course you start increasing strength, your conditioning, your body composition starts becoming significantly better. This is my favorite phase. You cannot get here without building the foundation first. You have to build the foundation, because once you have the foundation phase, this is easy. It's become second nature. You are this person. You are this fit, healthy, jacked person. This is you. You do these things naturally without thinking. It's automatic, right? Your strength increases automatically because you're tracking your calories, you're tracking your macros, you're doing progressive overload. Your body composition changes. Sometimes you don't lose a drastic amount of weight, but your body composition changes because this is who you are now.
I would definitely
This protocol, it's designed to cut out the noise, to eliminate the guesswork, and make it as easy as possible to lose stubborn fat and build lean muscle mass. You can see my guy Alex here. He lost 35 pounds in 3 months, completely transformed his body. Check this out.
recommend to you. Definitely, I would definitely recommend to you. Definitely go
Mhm.
like, yo, it changed my life specifically. So, in my opinion, a life changing like this, is definitely worth everything.
You heard it from him. Changed his life. It's a simple process. It's tested, tried, and true. It didn't just work for Alex. It also worked for
So Sam
my
P,
guy Sam.
28 years old, started at 260 pounds.
In the 3 months that we've trained together, I believe you've lost a little bit over, what is it, 27, 30, 33 pounds now?
32 pounds as of today.
Okay.
I'm
Love that.
very happy with the results and, like you said, the habit changes because I think that's the long-term piece that I've been missing.
There you go. The habit changes. That's a long term piece that he had been missing. Once you change the habits, once you change how you view yourself, you change who you are as a person, everything else falls in line. This, before he came to me, he lost 30 pounds on his own, and then he was stuck at a plateau for over 6 months. Stuck at a plateau, the weight not moving for over 6 months. He came to me 3 months in, 32 pounds down. It's not magic, I promise you.
Overall, I'm really happy that I work with Frank. I'm down about like 60 pounds and I feel so great. Like, I feel so happy that I can actually do workouts that are good for my body and that I like.
Look at that. 60 pounds in less than 7 months. The crazy thing is, she actually wanted to quit a month into the program because she felt like she wasn't being consistent. She felt like she was wasting my time. So I spoke to her. I had a phone call with her. I got real with her. I told her what she probably didn't like hearing it, but she needed to hear it. Less than 7 months later, she's down 60 pounds. It's a tested, tried, and true process. As long as you're willing to put in the work, this can work for you too. And it's not just them. This has worked again on men. My guy Roy, 73 years old, he dropped 35 pounds. It's worked on him. It's worked on Akwe right here, completely transformed his body composition. It's worked on Jay, my guy Madani, Rosamay, Cynthia, all these people. The one of my favorite transformations is my girl Julissa right here. She dropped 52 pounds while training with me. Went off on her own. Using the skills she learned, she dropped an additional 100 pounds. That's not by mistake. It's a tested, tried, and true process. Hundreds of lives have been transformed. I can't put everybody on here. Like this is already longer than I intended it to be, you know? So now that you understand how this process works, I've pretty much broken it down very simply. You understand how it works, right? If you are skinny fat, if you are fat, overweight, obese, if you're just tired of just being tired, you're tired of being stuck in the same spot, you're tired of starting and restarting your fitness journey over and over and over again, right? If you're ready to lose fat once and for all, you're looking to put on lean muscle mass and lose fat overall. You're looking to become the best version of yourself physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. You're ready to be the most confident, happiest version of yourself. If you would like to lose a minimum of 15 to 30 pounds and put on lean muscle mass and learn how to keep it off permanently using this M3 protocol, then I want to make an offer to you. I want you to go ahead, DM me, click the link down below. Actually, there's a link down below. Go ahead and send me a message. Let me know that you're interested. Apply to work with me. I'll give you a call. We'll go over what you're doing right now, what you've tried in the past, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, and what needs to change. And if everything makes sense and this M3 protocol makes sense to implement into your life, then the next 3 months will be the most transformational time of your life. Again, you've seen the process. You've seen the different people it works on. All it is now, it's up to you to do the same. So I appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you staying with me for about 45 minutes. The video lasted a lot longer than I intended it to, but hey, I hope you learned something from here, and I hope you're ready to implement it. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. And again, click that link in the comments to apply, and let's get started. Peace.